Hello and welcome to the Showdown show for the 19th of November. Remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. And I told you I would do this show from the beginning. So this is just me going through everything for a slate from the start, kind of the way I do it normally. So to start with, I unclick every captain and I choose my captains carefully. So Joshua Dobbs, Wilson, I don't know. Is there much meat on the bone? They are running quarterbacks technically, but 16, 13%. I think you can, just because remember the Lamar example from the last slate, the guy won unique with 2,600 on the table. But Lamar is a rushing QB, but he didn't, did he get there? I forget if he got there on the ground or not. Either way, I'm going to consider them in the mix because they're very good. And obviously the highest scoring play is on the slate. Then let's see, we go on down the list. This is a little bit, I don't know what's going on with the projection for KJ Osborn. Who's going to get the catch? I guess Hockenson is getting all of the catches for Minnesota. This is shocking. I mean, like that's just wrong to me. I made KJ Osborne the picture on the video already before I even looked at it because like he's gonna get looks today. I mean, so here's the question, right? Is it Osborne or is it Addison? The question is like I don't know. Could be either of them. I mean, it could be both of them. Like it could be a high scoring game. I don't think I'm going to make a rule about it, but generally speaking, oh, you know what? Here's the rule I'll make because I think giving them all the Hawkinsons a bit much. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to say max 2 out of 3, Hockenson, Addison, and Osborne. So max 2 out of 3, Minnesota catchers, pass catchers, the important ones. These are the guys who could catch touchdowns, technically, is what I'm kind of trying to capture. No more than 2 of Osborne, Addison, or Hockenson, and then the same thing in captain. For Showdown, you have to remember to do the same thing in captain because they're about the same play to me. And like, I think people are going to predict one thing or another to happen, and I don't think, yeah. So let's see. Sutton is pretty highly owned for chance of success there. What are the values looking like? Naylor. Yep. Yep. The wide receiver rotation, given that, yeah. So let's look at this on Vikings snap counts. Snap counts. I just want to see how many snaps did Naylor get. We don't have a change because, well, I guess Osborne was out with concussion. So we'll have to make sure it's games that Osborne is in. We don't quite have the court IQ thing here. Bring this back up. Wide receiver. Okay, so Naylor in the last couple of games. Well, which one? Weeks. Oh, custom. So custom weeks 9 and 10 or 8 to 10. So we've got one Naylor week. And in that week, he got 67% of the snaps, or 92% of the snaps. But that was the week that Osborne was out with the concussion. So tough to tell. Tough to tell. Yeah. So there's a chance. Obviously, he also hasn't had a big game yet, right? So that's a lot of snaps, though. He's gotten a lot of snaps. They've proven they will put him out there, and he is running routes. Yeah. So I'm totally fine with taking a bunch of shots on Jalen Naylor. Also, as kind of like at 0.1%, he's basically the backup to most of the wide receiver room, which is already pretty bad. And Mike, anyway, so I'm gonna just kind of boost him a little bit, I think. I like this play. Boost him to like 4 because I think there's a chance he gets out there just preferentially over the other dudes anyway. But I don't really want very much of it. I'll take 10% here. It's not worthwhile in the captain. Let's say 15% in the flex. Then who else is down here on the list? I don't need Kroll. I don't need Burton. I don't need Tristan Jackson. Don't need Jaleel McLaughlin probably at his price. I think it's like 15% also. Just you guys are way too on that. For chance of success, anything else? Vikings and Broncos each 20%. That's too high. I want them in the low teens if I'm going to play a defense. Troutman, Oliver. I mean, what's Oliver? He should be on the same snap count thing, right? Oliver. I have to go to lower snaps per game, or is he not he's a tight end or something? Yeah, okay, he's a tight end. He's out there, so they are doing 117%. He hasn't caught a ball yet. So that's what leaps off this page to me is that he has not caught a ball basically the whole season, maybe once or twice. But he's out there 40% of snaps, and he's gonna be like there's nobody missing. So the chance of him, I think we have to give him more of like the average of the tight ends. So what is the average of these tight ends? About 20. And so in 30 snaps, 20 points per 100. So it's like 0.3 times 20 or 6. So I could give 6 to Oliver without feeling too, yeah. So I think Oliver is going to luck into something someday soon. So I'm going to give Oliver some, yeah. And at 3-4%, now that's what we're talking about. If I'm going to take a nibble on some weird piece that I'm making up, like excuses to play, but I mean, like also, they're in the goal line, exam, the goal line situation, the lineups they send out there often include the backup tight end. So I think he's a good play for that reason. Okay, so we've got Naylor. I've talked about Oliver, who's obviously overpriced. Yeah, 2,600 compared to like Manhurts, who I'm sure is out there the same amount. It's just that Manhurts isn't as dynamic. He's like, not that Naylor's dynamic or that Oliver is dynamic, but he's better than Manhurts. Little Jordan Humphrey. I mean, I'll leave Manhurts out there for the same reasons. I won't leave little Jordan Humphrey or Month, too expensive and not enough leverage for the likelihood of success. Troutman, meh. Too expensive now. He was good last week. You can't let a good play last week pretend like it's a good play this week. Not all good plays last week are good plays this week. They look, DraftKings reprices. When they reprice right, oh no, it's over. When they reprice and something's wrong or they miss something, I don't want to Ty Chandler this week. There was a report that Madison's going to be like back and strong. So actually, yeah, what questionable? He's not questionable. Ty Chandler's overpriced because they thought that Madison, what was the quote? Madison expect him to play, good to go. Yeah, so I don't think we need to be started all 10 games, leading rusher. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think we should still be having a lot of Madison. I don't know what's going on here. There's no split expected between him and Chandler, from me at least. So I'm putting Madison back to bell cow work like he used to be. I mean, I could look it up, but I remember. At 12 because he's not that good. I want Judy above. Okay, fine. Him and Judy, pick him. Who cares? Okay, then below that, gosh, I hope they finally give Marvin Mims some work, but I can't like change his projection based on my desire that he be throwing the ball. Okay, so any other good leverage value, low owned captains here? I mean, if you want to play a defense, Vikings defense captain is not bad at 1.6%. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm kind of convinced in this Josh Oliver play. I kind of hyped myself up for it. If I was doing 150, I'd definitely click it. I'm only doing 20, so I'm not going to click it. But yeah, I think these are fine. Let's see. So then build rules wise, I'll go to the optimal zone, probably 48,000 to 49,600 with a geometric mean of 22, because that's where I've been finding pretty solid results with recently. So then let's go. Clickety click, click, click. Yeah, so max 2 out of 3 Minnesota pass catchers is the only rule I have built in at this time. You can do something with Madison and Chandler if you think that Chandler has a chance to play. He hasn't earned playing time. He played bad. He's not good. So, I mean, coaches do bad things all the time. So who knows if that's going to pan out as reasons go. And also, man, it does 2,000. That's because it takes a long time and it doesn't think. I want to sample the whole space, man. I'm paying for 5,000. I wish the automatic thing was 5,000 here. I got time. It's the morning. I mean, obviously, this show. Actually, yeah, I should probably more or less end it and show you my exposures later. This is not awesome television. It's not awesome radio. Plus, I got to get going and working on my classic lineups for NFL. So yeah, actually, this is a good point to end it, because normally this is where I begin the videos, right? I've done all this stuff and then I look at the end of it with you. So now I'll post the end of it in Discord later, what my exposures are, but you saw how I set it up, and you can set it up the same way. I didn't even do the team stack thing because I thought these are fine. Like the actual projections today for points, fine. I mean, I don't have any notes about this. So if you think it's going to be a wind game, this is like the end of some kind of a weather day if you wanted to make it low, but this is kind of low for what I would expect for these teams. If it weren't a windy day, I would probably put it up to 24 or something, but I liked the way it was. So, that's always my first look in NBA. I just don't have a note for this specific line. It seemed about right, but I do think it's good for you guys. Force a decision on the line.
Do you think SaberSim and the betting market in general is right? If you don't, that's your best gut play of the day, because you just tell SaberSim, hey, sample from all the ones where blank happens. And that's your gut is leading the way. You're getting a unique set, and it's based on one lean that you really have about the game. So anyway, that's how to use SaberSim, how to set things up. Remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. Might as well be us. And hey, tomorrow it's $1 million. So don't use up all your luck tonight.